guys, welcome back to Project Rich Mum. If you are new here, my name is Gemma and I'm a single parent who shares her personal finance journey from budgeting and savings to how I create money online. It's that time again for a monthly reset, so I'm going to be setting up my budget for February because January is one of those months that feels like it's got 5,000 weeks in it. And then we get a nice short month with February. So we're going to get set up with all of that. I want to show you guys the books that I read. I only read 2 books in January and then the book that I'm starting for February. Let's talk about some goals and let's get some plans set, because if you've been around for a while, you'll know that if I don't plan things and I try and just wing it, things don't get done. So if you are interested, please hit subscribe, give this video a like and drop me a comment. So let's start off then with the monthly budget for February. I've already gone through and put my household bills on the calendar just so that I know when they are due, when they're coming out. Hang on, my desk is so cluttered. Let's try and make some space so we can see what we're doing here. So I've already written out the fixed expenses that I know I'm going to be paying out for this month. I haven't added in any of my cash stuffing envelopes, and I haven't thought about allocating any kind of savings or anything yet. I will do that towards the end of the month. So I'm just going to go and colour in February. So my income for, let me just get a pen. I don't know what colour to use for, oh, I'm all flustered today, you'll have to forgive me. So my income then for February is 2,130. Oh, this one's a bit thick actually. Maybe we'll just keep using this one. And I am rolling over 300. So that gives us a total, oh, I don't need to add that up, do I? 2,430 pounds. Now for the expenses, some of these pens have got a really fine tip and some are not, so we have to be careful. Let's go blue. So expenses this month then, my rent is £790. My council tax is 145. My water is 40. My gas and electric is up to 180. So my broadband is 25. My phone is 13 because it's just a SIM only contract. My kids' phones are 20. And then house insurance is 7. For food, I'm doing 300. Although I still have a ton of potatoes in the freezer that I used the potatoes that I bought at Christmas for and made them into all kinds of different things, potato things. So I still have quite a lot of those. I've also in January started to make my own bread, and I tried a little while ago, like last year or maybe even longer actually, to make my own bread. And yeah, the kids are brutal when they don't like something that I make. And to be fair, you could have smashed windows with the bread that I made, so it wasn't great. So in January I was really trying to become a better baker, and you may have seen on Instagram I have a little sourdough starter. She's not ready yet, she's getting there, so soon we'll be able to make sourdough. But I've been making cobs, like bread rolls essentially. I'm not sure that anybody outside the East Midlands calls them cobs, but that's what we call them. And then just kind of bigger loaves of round bread. And when the kids tried them, they were both, one, asking for more, and two, very complimentary, which if they didn't like it, they would not hold back on me. So I think we finally got the hang of making bread, which is so nice, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. So now every couple of days I've been making fresh bread. So I do want to stock up on bread flour and that kind of stuff so that we can continue making that. Cleaning, I'm gonna put down 30 because I do need to get some more. Well, it's cleaning and toiletries really, but I do need to get some more like washing powder and stuff. So going into my miscellaneous envelope, and this is the one that I am budgeting for, is 100, and that is just I keep that out in cash in the envelope so that, you know, I can pick up things as and when we need them throughout the month. And I normally do about £20 a week. So my car insurance then is, if I can remember, 27. Fuel, I did put that up to 60. I think we're going to drop it back down again now that the kids are back in school. So we'll put 40 down for fuel. My car tax is 3. So Netflix, I was on the cheapest one. And then for Christmas, I got my son a, you may have seen them on TikTok, one of those projector things. And you cannot have the version of Netflix with ads to use it on this projector. It's not compatible. So I did upgrade so that he could use that. Otherwise, you know, what's the point in having it? So we are now, I know it's $10.99, but just for ease, I'm going to round it up to $11. Still have a Discovery Plus subscription, which is $3.99. Now TV is, I think it's still £2 that I'm paying, or $1.99. I'm currently going through the Game of Thrones series. Last time I started to watch it, I think I got about 4 seasons in. So I'm trying to watch it. I'm watching it with the kids as well. So there's a lot of bits that everyone's screaming and we're skipping forward. But don't worry, they're not kids. Like, they're not, I say kids, they are, this year they'll be 16 and 18. So they're not babies. Like, don't worry, I'm not making them watch completely inappropriate things. But we are having to skip through. There's a lot of bosoms in there and nakedness, isn't there? So we're skipping through, but we're enjoying it. And then Disney is $4.99. So let me go ahead and add all of this up. So $7.90, $1.45, $40, $1.80, $25. I have to be so careful when I'm doing this because sometimes these stick, and I don't notice because I'm looking over here. And so I think I'm going to be a lot better off than I actually am. Oh, like that. 40 and 3, 11, 4, 2 and 5. So that gives us a total of, let me write this in normal ink, 1,742. And if we take off 2,430, so that gives us a leftover then of 688. But of course that is before I've even started thinking about savings and sinking funds. I am currently doing a monthly challenge. I do have some spare ones over here actually, let me show you. So I'm currently doing the monthly challenge where you just go through each week and save that amount. I've done December and January, so I will be continuing with that. I'm also currently saving for our holiday. Those are really the main priorities at the moment. I'm also looking to up the emergency fund, and then if I can, making headway in, or as much headway as possible into the getting 3 months ahead on bills in one account, just purely for the fact that I'm a single parent, you know, I'm self-employed. If it all goes, you know, completely what's it's up, then I at least don't have to panic immediately, you know. So that is the budget all set up for the month then. I keep looking because it's a dry shampoo day. I washed my hair yesterday and then I quickly went over it with the mermaid curler, and whenever I do that it just makes it look super greasy. So I put some dry shampoo in it this morning, and it's left that grey residue. Let's briefly talk books then. So in January I read 2 books. I started to read a third one and I cannot for the life of me remember what it was, but I ended up putting it down because, not that it wasn't a good book, I think it probably is, I just wasn't in the right mood to read it. What book was it? That's really going to annoy me now. Oh well. So I ended up reading Then She Was Gone, Lucid Jewel. If you can see that. This is a psychological thriller. I loved this book. Especially towards the end, I spent most of the time going, I'm sorry, what? She did what? So if you like psychological thrillers, I would highly recommend this one. I got through this one fairly quickly actually, and it was the type of book where you kind of, oh, shall I keep reading? Let me read another bit. I just want to find out what happens after this. Really great book. Then I reread Circe. I don't want to say it's my favourite book, but it probably is my favourite book. I absolutely adore Circe by Madeline Miller. Circe is goddess of witchcraft, and this is a retelling, obviously. Madeline Miller gives kind of more of a backstory to Circe. Why did she end up, you know, she comes across as very aggressive towards the end, but when you hear the story before that, you can kind of get an idea of why she had to create this hard shell around herself, and actually she's just a product of the men that she encountered in her life from childhood up to being an adult, of being used, of being taken advantage of, and then when she fights back, people are like, oh, wait, why are you doing this? So this is a really great book if you like Greek mythology. So in February then, the first book that I am going to read is, I'm trying to get the light not to bounce off of it. Turn the light down, but I have to have it on. It is such a grey day today that if I turn it off, it's basically like a cave in it. So my first read for February is going to be A Flicker in the Dark by Stacey Willingham. It's another thriller. It says Chloe Davis's father is a serial killer. He was convicted and jailed when she was 12, but the bodies of the missing girls were never found. His crimes stalk her like a shadow. With her family torn apart by her father's crimes, Chloe moved away to rebuild her life. Now she's a respected psychologist in Baton Rouge with a loving fiancé, but she can't shake the paranoia that it all might come crashing down. Then history repeats itself. On the anniversary of her father's crimes, Chloe's worst fears come true. A girl she knows goes missing. The nightmare has started again. I'm very excited. I've heard really great things about this book. In terms of plans and goal setting then for February, one of the things that I am doing is I have a couple of videos that are going up on my other channel, which I haven't posted anything on for a long time, which is called The Still of the Night, and that is true crime and paranormal stories. I am just finished up recording a video about Axel Rudabicana. If you are in the UK, you will most certainly have heard of this guy. He, last year when he was 17 years old, went into a Taylor Swift themed dance and yoga class full of little girls and carried out the most horrendous attack. He was just sentenced last week. The video covers, we go over the crimes that he committed, but in the video I spend a lot of time focusing on the sentencing, obviously talking about what he got. He was charged with 16 offences that he pleaded guilty to, and just kind of the impact on that and whether some laws need to be changed. So if you are interested in that, that video is going to be going up at the end of this week over on that other channel. I will link it down below so you can go and find it. Also, I have been working on some digital downloads to do with budgeting and savings challenges and cash stuffing. I think what I'm going to do is release those for sale as digital downloads. I want to make sure that before I do that, that I have a lot of products for people to be able to choose from. I'm currently just researching whether to go down the Shopify route or whether to just do the stand store thing. I think I'm probably going to go Shopify so that eventually I can do physical products as well as just digital downloads without having to shift and kind of change everything. So that will be going live in February as well, which is very exciting. And then in terms of personal goals, I've found recently that I have been much more motivated to be more active, which is really unusual for me, especially this time of year when it's so dark and grey. But I got a walking pad for Christmas. So I have been using that to get my 10,000 steps in every day. And I've been doing it by breaking it up into doing like 20 minutes in the morning, kind of 20 minutes in the afternoon. And then I'm kind of moving around anyway during the day, so that obviously adds into the count. And then if I need to, doing more in the evening as well. So I do want to keep up with that because I definitely have noticed an improvement in my mood, in wanting to get things done, which has been lovely. I saw a Mel Robbins podcast that she said that motivation is just the feeling of wanting to do something, and actually progress comes from doing it even when you don't want to. Reminding myself that motivation is just the feeling of wanting to do something, and if I'm waiting for motivation, I'm probably not going to do it, you know. And the things that I want to achieve, both in my health and in my private life, and ways that I want to improve and get better. Isn't it strange how you can hear one thing, which is just common sense, isn't it? Don't wait until you feel like you want to do something, you need to do it anyway. Like, it's like, duh, you know. But sometimes I think you have to hear it at the right time for it to kind of strike a chord in you, and you kind of take it in and then act upon it. And that's really how I felt when I watched the Mel Robbins podcast. So hopefully then I will have a really productive February. If you haven't already, consider hitting subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.